Thanks for being with us today. I'm Nate Eaton here in the East Idaho News.com studios. If you went to the rodeo over the weekend, you may have seen these three ladies competing in the War Bonnet Rodeo. First time ever, at least in this rodeo, that women's breakaway roping was offered. And these ladies are going to tell us all about it, why they do it. Let's introduce them. We have Cody Ann Judkins. She is the WPRA Roping Division spokeswoman. We also have Danae Eaton and Donna Pettengill. They are competitors in this event. Thank you, ladies, for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, of course. So, Cody Ann, explain what this event is.
Women's breakaway roping has been around for generations. You just haven't seen it at a professional level at this point. Breakaway roping is essentially similar to calf roping. So a girl rides, she's on a horse, she backs into the roping box, nods for a calf, ropes the calf around the neck, and instead of getting off like the men do, we have a string that is tied to the saddle horn. The string breaks, and when the rope and the string break, come off the saddle horn, then it is signaled for time. The fastest time wins, and typically you're going to see a 2 to 3 second run that will win.
Okay, so you're on the horse to start with.
Correct.
They let out the calf. Calf. You then rope the calf around the head. Then you've got to get off.
We don't have to get off.
You don't have to get off.
Correct. So the men get off.
The men get off.
The women don't.
Okay.
So the rope that's tied to the horn, it breaks.
I get it.
As soon as the calf is roped and runs off.
And that's why they call it breakaway roping.
Correct.
Okay, so how has it been around for years but never been in the rodeos?
So that's a really good question. Typically the women, when they want to advance to a professional level, they go towards barrel racing. And breakaway roping has just kind of, in the past, just stopped at the college level. And there's really been nowhere for a contestant to go to once they've been at the college level. And there's really no rhyme or reason why it hasn't moved up into the professional level. In the last 5 to 10 years, it's really gained popularity because it's something else that we can do against the men right alongside with them instead of just the barrel racing. And so there's really not a reason why it hasn't been moved forward. It's just the women haven't gotten the opportunity yet, but in the last couple of years, you've really seen it grow and blossom. And so the women have said, hey, we need the same opportunity as the men, and it also gives the women another event to compete in.
So how does it get introduced to the different rodeos? Like, does it start with one and then the others see it and say, we should bring this here? Or?
That's a really good question. So right now, the Women's Professional Rodeo Association is essentially allowing kind of some trials to go on. So instead of allowing every single professional rodeo to start, they're allowing several that want to try it and give it a try to kind of do a test run. And then in the future, they're going to let it into all the professional rodeos. So it's one of those things, we want to start small and get big, but we want to make sure it's done correctly.
You don't just want to throw it out to 100
Exactly.
rodeos. So really, in 5-10 years, this could just be another event that's done across the country.
Absolutely.
So Donna and Danae, tell me how you guys got involved in rodeoing.
Well, we started young, 4-H.
We go 4-H together. And then
junior high school rodeo.
High school rodeo is where it started.
And have you competed in this specific event, the breakaway roping?
Since high school.
Since high school, but is it one of those stories where after high school or after college there's really nowhere to compete professionally?
Professionally, there was an amateur. There was a few associations around here that did the breakaway roping, and so you kind of just played with it, but it wasn't, until
there wasn't an advancement.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now that it is out there?
I think it's great. I didn't think I'd see it in my lifetime.
Really? Mm-hmm. How about you, Danae?
I took a different direction. After high school rodeo, I did not college rodeo. I got out of horses for 15 years, and I got back in 10 or 15 years ago, and I'm living my second childhood. And so it's been really exciting. It's been great for the horse industry. It has been great for the girls, the competition. We have a local association that we have little kids wanting to break away, and there's a lot of interest, and I think it's going to be great for horse trainers, horses in general, and the Rodeo Association.
So by the time you're watching this, these women will have competed and we will have known how they did. But let's kind of go back in time if we can. What happens if one of you place? I mean, do you get a first, second, third place? Is that how it goes?
So that's a good question. So right now, if you're a WPRA member, the United States is broke up into circuits. And the level that we're at right now, each circuit has a circuit finals. So our goal in 5 years is to have it at something similar to the National Finals Rodeo, or have a nationwide competition. But what we're looking at today and what we want with the money from Idaho Falls, these girls are gearing towards roping at the Wilderness Circuit Finals the end of September in Tremont in Utah. So we're going to pay 8 places at this rodeo, and all of the money will count towards the standings for the circuit finals. We do have a world standings for the WPRA for the breakaway, and there is a world roping in Waco, Texas, the end of October. But typically we see most of the girls trying to get to the circuit finals at this point.
Okay, so let's say that you do get, that you'll go to Tremonton, and then in Tremonton, is that where you might qualify to go to Waco?
So there are 2 different divisions. So Waco is a world standings, so anyone across the United States goes into those standings, so they're ranked as dollar-wise. And the circuit standings are just girls that are in Idaho, Nevada, and Utah. So we compete more at a regional level. One thing that you see with this breakaway roping is there isn't enough members nationwide that every circuit has breakaway yet. I mean, you're really on the forefront of this. And so our goal is all 12 circuits are going to have members in 5 years.
I see. Wow. That'll be something. Do you foresee other events in the rodeo that right now just men compete in, but women may down the line?
Probably not. It is open, you know, the team roping is open to women, but most likely right now what you're seeing in 5 to 10 years is they're going to continue with the barrel racing and the breakaway.
No bull riding or?
There are some areas that they do allow women to ride bulls.
There are, okay.
But you're probably not going to see it on this level yet.
Yeah. How has rodeoing changed since you all started? You said you guys started as kids, as 4-H. Did you as well, Cody Ann?
You know what? I actually didn't start roping until after I graduated college.
Oh, wow.
My family raised cattle and we also raised horses. But I was more in the horse show world and 4-H versus the rodeo world. When I graduated college, you know, I decided that the horse showing was too expensive. And so I decided I wanted to rope. And 15 years ago to today, breakaway has changed so much. The number of contestants has changed, the opportunity has changed, and the money for these girls to win has changed significantly.
Higher.
Yes. We're getting to the point, it's realistic to say in 2 to 3 years, a woman can make a living breakaway roping.
Oh my goodness, really? It's that good?
It's growing in a hurry.
And why is that? Why is that changing so much?
A lot of it is just interest. You go to a rodeo and the only women's event you see is barrel racing. When you add the event of breakaway roping in, not only is it another women's event, but it's a women's event that is fast. And it's exciting. I mean, everyone wants to see stuff to happen quickly. That's why they like the bull riding, is because it's exciting. And that's what breakaway brings to the rodeo. It's a women's event that happens fast, and the crowd, they love seeing the roping.
What is it like for you all when you are on that horse and they open the gate, right? They open the gate for you to go. Is that right when the clock starts? What's that feeling like?
It's an adrenaline rush. It's I don't know.
When you look at it, I like to kind of compare it to a roller coaster ride. So when you're sitting in that roller coaster, the minute you take off and that rush up the hill on the roller coaster, that's what it's like riding a horse. You have to realize that horse can go from 0 to 30 miles an hour in 2 strides.
Wow.
Yeah. And you put a calf in the middle of it and you're roping. And it is one of the biggest adrenaline rushes you can find on a horse.
It is.
how long and how often do you practice for, like for the War Bonnet, how long have you all been practicing and getting ready?
Years.
I rope the dummy.
Yeah,
Years.
we
I rope the dummy every night, and with my horse, I practice at least 3 nights a week. I try to even do more than that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Same.
You got to condition your horse. You got to be able to place that rope, that tip, correct on the ground on a dummy before you get on horseback, and then when you're on horseback, you got to teach a horse position. There's a lot to train a
Stuff that
calf horse or breakaway horse.
the normal observer probably wouldn't think about. Little things that you all are doing that as a viewer we don't even realize what you're doing.
Right.
Is there a point where they say, okay, all clear, you're good as far as once that calf's been roped?
So that's a good question. So depending on the association that you're in, there's different legal catches. So the Women's Professional Rodeo has taken this stance that our legal catches are the same as calf roping. The judges that are judging it, they're used to calf roping. So the legal catch for the WPRA is as long as the rope clears the head. So as long as it goes over the head, it can catch any part of the body. So if it catches the rib cage, the hind leg, as long as it clears the head and breaks it off your saddle horn, that is considered a legal catch.
Could the calf still be moving, walking around?
Yes, so they don't come tight.
It just needs to go around the head.
Right.
Yeah, the calf will continue to run.
I see. It's
And
not
that's what breaks the rope, is that rope coming tight.
I see. It's not like the men's where they have to get down and tie
Right.
the legs.
Right.
Okay.
The harder that calf runs, the quicker it's going to break the string off of your horn, and that gets you a faster flight.
So you want it to go
Yes.
go fast.
Yes.
Oh wow.
And when we back in the box, we don't wait for somebody to tell us to go. There's somebody running the chute. When we are ready, we nod for our calf, and that's when they open the chute and we go. And we run. There's a barrier that's across the box.
Just like the calf roping.
And your horse will run through that barrier, and when you cross that barrier is when the time starts. The time stops when the rope breaks from your horn.
Have you all ever practiced with the calf?
Yes.
Several
in
times
there.
a week.
So it's your calf.
No, not the calf that's at the rodeo.
In a practice pen.
You practice, but the calf that's at the rodeo you haven't
They're
practiced
brought by
with.
the same stock contractor that brings the rest of the rodeo stock for the rodeo. So they bring the calf roping calves, the rough stock, the team roping cattle.
I see.
So we have no idea what that calf is going to be once we
What
get
it's
there.
going to do, nothing.
And they will draw. Each of those calves have a given number, and they draw those calves. We'll receive our numbered calf prior to our roping.
But obviously the horse is yours.
Right.
Yes.
How long have you had the horse that you're going to be competing with?
The horse I have, I've had 3 years.
And I got turbo 11.
11.
I'm actually going to be on a horse that I trained. We don't own him anymore. And we owned him for 3 years. I sold him 2 years ago, and I went and borrowed him for this.
But is it one of those things where you want, okay, yeah, you got to have that horse ready,
Yes.
and you're not going to go and compete with one that you've maybe only ridden a few times?
Right. It typically takes 3 to 4 years for a horse to be ready to breakaway rope.
Wow.
And then you gotta season them, so they get used to all the noises and everything that's happening at the rodeos.
Yeah. What an exciting event, and cool that for the first time ever at the War Bonnet Rodeo it will be here. Again, this could be something that in 5 or 10 years we look back and watch and say, really? I mean, that was a big deal, but it sounds like in the rodeo world it is.
It is a very big deal.
Good luck. I know, as I mentioned, you're watching, you'll know where you place once you're watching this year. They're going to be at home excited or maybe a little down about it. But
We'll be excited.
how many women are competing this weekend? Do you know?
There's 46 entered. There'll be 10 a night, and then 16 will be in slack on Friday morning.
So do they break it up by ages too?
The WPRA, you have to be 18 or over.
Anybody over 18, you're all in one group.
Yeah.
Wow. And you said there's 46, but then on Friday morning there's...
Correct. So there's only 3 performances. They allow 10 girls in each performance. Same with the timed event and the rough stock. And then you have essentially extras that they can't fit into the performances. That's where the event, what they call slack. So that's all of the leftovers that can't go to the performances. They will rope, still compete against everyone else, but they will be roping Friday morning.
Good luck to all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in here and talking with us about this. Cody Ann Judkins, she's the spokeswoman for the WPRA roping division. We also have Danae Eaton and Donna Pettengill. Very talented women here who are making us proud here in Eastern Idaho. Thank you for watching. Have a good week.